Welcome back to Ota Farms. Have you ever been sitting in the diaspora wondering how you could invest back in Africa? Have you ever been interested in poultry farming and wondering if it's actually profitable or not? Wondering if it's actually even worth starting a poultry farm or not? Well, my name is Kelvin Taku. I'm a software engineer based in the United States. About 7 months ago, we started a poultry farm from ground up. In this video, I'm going to walk you through our whole entire process on how we got started, why we choose poultry farming in the first place. At the end of the video, you'll be able to decide whether to start your own poultry farming venture, or if you've already started, you'll be able to decide, or you'll be able to gain some more insights on how to expand your current farm. So stick around and I'll walk you through the whole process. All right, so the big question, why poultry farming in the first place? One, the demand is extremely high. You're raising agricultural product that actually provides immediate demand. Two, the capital, you don't need that much capital to actually start a poultry farm. Three, you don't need that much space to start a poultry farm. You can literally start from your backyard with just 20 or 30 birds. You don't need that much space to actually go ahead and start a poultry farm. Four, within 45 days, you can start getting the return on your investment. It takes 45 days from day old chick to maturity. You can literally start reaping the return on your investment within 45 days. The fifth and most important point, poultry farming provides employment at multiple levels. Now, you've actually been enticed to start. How do you generate capital? That's one of the most important part, and if not the most important. You need to figure out a way to generate capital. How do you generate capital? In our own experience, we had to dig deeper into our savings to be able to get the funds to fund our poultry farming project. If you do not have any savings, my advice would be start small, get with family members, friends and families, try to raise some funds from friends and families. I would not immediately encourage somebody to go when you're starting a poultry farm to go and get a bank loan. The reason is simple. You're putting so much pressure on yourself that at the end of the day, you might not be that focused on your business, and you might be tempted to make so many mistakes because you're just trying to figure out ways to raise money at the end of the month to actually go ahead and pay the interest rate. But I'm not saying that you shouldn't take a bank loan when you see a good one. But if a bank comes to you and tell you, hey, we want to give you a loan, but you have to start paying interest from the very first month, you want to run away. That's what we call loan sharks. Start small, start with whatever you can, and then grow from there. We were lucky to actually have a little bit of savings that we could start with 1,000 birds. But I would say go ahead first. If you don't have any savings, look from friends, talk to friends and family and see how you can generate. Don't go to family and just say, okay, because this is your family member, they should just give you the money. Come up with a lucrative business plan. Tell them that, listen, they are putting money into you and it's going to be worth it. Show them a reason. Give them a good reason. I'm pretty sure every single person listening to watching this particular video can relate to what I'm saying. If you have one or two people in your family that if you are able to actually present a good business plan, they will be able to invest in you. They will be able to put the funds. Now let's talk about construction of our poultry site. I mean, that obviously is that's one of the biggest investment. Not one of that's basically the biggest investment in poultry farming. If you already have a piece of land, that reduces your startup costs. If you don't, like in our own case, we had to purchase a piece of land. It cost us $15,000 to purchase a piece of land in the neighborhood of Boya in Southwest Province in Cameroon. We were lucky to have a wonderful contractor that to this particular day still working with us. He was able to construct the warehouse. We have a warehouse, we have a hatchery, we have 5,000 capacity broiler chicken house, a little poultry processing factory, not a massive one, just a little one that we can actually process. After your bird hits maturity, you want to go ahead and process them immediately. You want to go ahead and process them because a day, every single day after you leave them in your farm will be costing you money. You'll be spending a lot of money on feed. You do not want that. Process them, package them, put in freezers, and then sell them. Construction is the biggest startup cost. The construction of the warehouse, construction of the hatchery, construction of the processing unit, construction of the broiler chicken house, 5,000 capacity broiler chicken house. Those, and also security, because we had to build security fence all around it. Those actually cost us a lot of money. I'll go into details. Every single structure, I'm going to do another video on every single structure, the startup cost, what it costs us to build a warehouse, what it costs us to build a chicken house, the poultry, the processing unit. I'm going to do a separate video to actually explain the cost, the startup cost, the startup construction cost as far as the construction is concerned. So, but just always know that if you do not already have a unit, then that is going to be your biggest startup cost. The next thing I would like for us to talk about is the hiring of workers. It's something that people take for granted. We've been a profitable business since day one. And the reason is because we treat our employees with respect. Every time I go to Cameroon 3-4 times a year, every time I go back home, I make sure I come home with a gift. I make sure I get a package for my employees. I make sure they actually know that they are family. We call it the Otter Farms family. Everybody is part of the family. Once you get that particular notion among your employees, to the point where they can actually come to you when they see that there is something wrong, when they realize that something is not going in the right direction, that is when you know that you have a good team that can actually stand there, that you can stay in the diaspora, you can go to bed and have a good night's sleep, knowing that there is a team back home that are actually watching your back. So you need to pay attention. I make sure that they are well taken care of. At the same time, it's not only about just giving them a job and giving them a salary, but you want to make sure that they are treated as well with respect. That actually shows them that, listen, they are working for a company that is theirs. They are not just working for someone's company that tomorrow if it falls they don't care, but they are working for a company that if tomorrow that company falls, they will be just as hurt as you. And that is why hiring the right team is extremely important. The next thing that actually contributed immensely to our success was feed costs. We were able to handle feed costs because feed is 80% of your cost of production. Feed is 80%. If you can figure out a way to bring down the cost of feed, you'll be able to swim in profit in poultry farming. How do we do it? If you want to buy maize in Boya, extremely expensive. It cuts so much into your profit. So what do? I decided we are going to buy maize from the north side of the country. You have to. It's not going to be easy. It wasn't easy. I might make it sound like it was an easy process for me to be able to forge some of these partnerships with folks in the north. It wasn't easy, but I was able to get it done. Forge some partnership to be able to reduce the cost of feed, because once I did that, it brought up our margins. So I will advise people, you have to focus on bringing down the cost of feed. Figure out a way to bring down your cost of production. You do it that way, you will stay in business for the next 10, 20, 30 years, and probably the next time I will be hearing that you own the biggest poultry farm in Africa. This part that I'm about to talk about, it's one of the most important part and the most neglected. Like, Literally, I cannot emphasize this enough. I'm going to say it 3 times. Marketing, marketing, marketing. Please do not ignore marketing. You have to start marketing your product from day one. From the very first day the birds, your day old chicks arrive, go look for those buyer and seller. First of all, you need to know your market. You need to know who you're selling to. If you're selling to buy and sell them, it's the best because they will come buy everything in bulk and then go deliver. Some of them will buy everything in bulk and then go fatten the birds. That means they'll go keep the bird for another 2-3 weeks, fatten the bird and then sell it for about 6,000 and make some profit of it. Makes a lot. They make a lot of profit, not some profit. They make a lot of profit as well. But it's always advisable for you to sell. You want to sell everything wholesale. It's advantageous because you want to collect all the money once the bird hits maturity every single day. I cannot emphasize this enough. Every single day after the bird hits maturity and they are sitting there, they are right there in your farm, they are costing you money. You need to get rid of them to make money. Marketing, I cannot emphasize. So what do? If you go to our Facebook page or our Instagram page or at Ota Farms Group, you will notice that every single time we have a new batch, we have the video of the day old chicks. That is already sending message. Those buy and sell them. And then we have a marketing team that they call them and let them know we have birds that they will be ready. Put this on your calendar. Birds that they will be ready on this particular day. These birds will be ready on. They have that on their calendar. Then once the birds hit maturity, they are coming with trucks to gather everything and go. They come and buy everything wholesale. So marketing, know your market. And then once the bird pass 7 weeks or 8, let me just say 8 weeks, start thinking about fattening them yourself for processing. I'm going to do a separate video, a whole series on how to process your own chicken, how to package it. So start thinking about packaging it. Do not continue feeding it to go sell to buy and sell them, because buy and sell them will always buy at their price. They have their price. Do not continue to fatten these birds because that will always cut into your profit margin. So please never underestimate marketing. Always make sure that you market your bird. We have 3 marketing channels, right? The first one is Facebook, the second one is Instagram, the third one flyers. So we have a marketing team that they go cut, they generate these flyers. It costs us about 20,000. That's about $40 to be able to produce about 200 flyers. So you want to go ahead and market. Do not make that mistake, because if you don't, it will chop into your profit. Now, the last part is more of like a bonus part that I really wanted to talk about is actually ordering from China. I'll encourage farmers to actually order from China. Um, Especially if you're in the diaspora, it's easier. It's extremely easier for you in the diaspora. If you're back home, I know people that you can just go contact them. You tell them whatever you want. I just ping. You can send me a message. If you're in Cameroon, you can send me a message. I know people in Cameroon that they can actually order from you in China, and you just pick it up at their warehouse. You don't need to pay the full amount. You just pay a deposit. We we were looking for an incubator, and we found a couple. The cheapest we found was an incubator that can give us 1,000 day old chicks a week, 3 million. That's approximately $6,000. That was the price. And then I went online and I bought an incubator that can actually get me 10,000 day old chicks a week for $1,500. Let me repeat that. The cheapest I found from folks in Cameroon that bought from China and they are selling back in Cameroon. The cheapest I found was a 1,000 capacity for 3 million. But because I decided to buy myself from China, I saved more than 4.5 million and even got a lot more day old chicks per week. A lot more capacity for day old chicks per week. 10,000 per week capacity. So I will actually advise people, your feeders, your drinkers, those things are extremely expensive locally. I will advise you buy them from China, because most of those things they come from China that they are selling to you at 1,000% margins. They all come from China. Buy from China. I'm going to do a whole separate video series that will actually show you how to actually order your materials from China. But in the meantime, please figure out. If you want help, shoot me an email. Most importantly, click the subscribe button and follow this video series so that once I upload the video that shows you how to order from China, you'll be able to learn. So please try to save costs, startup costs, cost of production. Once you are able to figure out ways to save all these costs, you'll be able to make a lot more money in poultry farming. So that was a short overview on how we got started, how we started our own poultry farm, living in the diaspora, and how we're able to run our own poultry farm. But I will always say, if you're doing it, don't just live in the diaspora. Make sure you make some time to go back home. But the question is, poultry farming lucrative? Yes, absolutely. When can you start? Start immediately. Okay, you want to go ahead and start immediately. Do not say that I'm going to start tomorrow or I'm going to start next month. Listen, tomorrow, when tomorrow gets here, there's always going to be another tomorrow. Okay, when next month gets here, there's going to be another next month. You want to start immediately. Okay, whatever you have. If you don't have that much saving, go there, start little. You don't have to start with 1,000. You don't have to start with 1,000 like we did. But just the most important thing is start little, learn from your mistake, and grow. We're creating subsequent series of videos that shows you all of these things that we've discussed in depth, and we'll also be able to show you our financials in details, our broiler management system. How are we able to manage? Because there's a lot that goes into managing these birds. There is a system that we have in the farm. We use Excel to be able to manage all this. I will share some of those links, the links to the Excel. If you're interested in the broiler management Excel sheet, just ping me and I'll send you this. I will send that to you. But most importantly, hit the subscribe button, share the video, hit the like button, and hit the notification bell as well, so that whenever we upload a new video, you'll be able to get immediate notification and you'll be able to learn from our process, learn from what we're doing. Because again, guys, the sky is the limit for us. The most important part is that we want to expand and give back home and give back to our folks back home. We want to be able to put food on the table for families as well back home, not only through giving them employment, but also giving them healthy food, healthy organic chicken. That is one of our priority. So if you want to actually keep learning about our process, keep learning on how we got here, keep learning on how we want to get to the next level, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and then share the video. Thank you.